We have won nothing, but we have lost the die roll. I don't know, maybe our opponent will put us on the draw, and that will be correct for us somehow. It would be nice to not play against another hyper-aggressive deck. I feel as though we have, though the first one we played was by far the best, or the fastest. Like, I felt as though we couldn't do anything against them. They always had a +1/+1 counter thing. They always had a thing to activate, or they always had heroic guys, and they always had things to trigger heroic that were good. We have a controlling deck that is not so great at controlling. Few removal spells and whatnot. I guess moving into the future, we would either want to make our deck more full of removal and more full of aggressive things, and not go halfway on it. I don't know. Mid-range seems fine, but it has to be solid. You know, if you're going mid-range and you have like, if you don't know what mid-range is, it's like you have a fair amount of removal spells, but you know, your good creatures are mostly in the middle of the game rather than late. So it's like you're half control, half aggro. You're fairly aggressive. But you know, just those few removal spells that are just well costed, and hard removal spells, that's a good mid-range deck. So yeah, perhaps without that, you want to be either very controlling or very aggressive. Yeah, but I mean, I still, like, if I feel like perhaps our previous opponents were not as aggressive as I would have led you to believe, or led myself to believe. It's definitely worth rewatching for myself, because I was calling them like hyper aggressive decks, but at the same time, you know, it's like, how aggressive were they? How fast was their clock? Would it have been better for me to be on the draw as a decision? These are all things that I need to consider moving into the future so I can get more wins. But for right now, let's play this game. I kept the two-lander. It could have turned out bad, but it looks like it has not so far. Obviously, we're stuck with some red cards in our hand, and we wish that we would not have this Titan Strength in our deck and any of these red cards. But what are you going to do? Do I want to run out the Horizons and suit up something later? I think I want to suit up something later. If we rip any red, this is going to be insane to suit up. So, that said, this might just go out and then immediately go blocked. But they've missed a land drop at this point. They chose to be on the play. Like in most sealed formats, blind, you want to be on the draw. Alright, this is very good for them. Okay, they are not 3-color. So that's something we've learned about their deck. Do we want to run out this Siren Song, or do we run out a Nimbus Naiad? I think the Naiad's still worth waiting on. Actually, no. We get in for 3 this turn, and then every turn thereafter we're hitting for 5. Unblockable. They're so far behind. I feel like they're far enough behind that this is a very worthwhile play. Okay. So we have that land. Really wanted a forest there, but what are you gonna do? Let's just make this guy unblockable. Get in. May not want to do this in the future as they're blue. but meaning they have ways to bounce for cheap. Our guys. Their removal is not hard removal, however, it's the best removal to get in the way of abilities like this where you're paying a bunch of mana and then your opponent gets to... Ooh, divination. They're really clawing their way back into this game. I thought they were kind of out of it early on. Of course, this helps us. I'm tempted to crack it for green, but I think red just seems much more solid. Let's see what happens. We really don't need to decide right now. I don't even feel like I need a land right now. Ooh. Crypsis. That seemed like a waste of a Crypsis to me. We'll see. It seems like that said untap target creature and do nothing. Yeah, again, didn't really need to decide there, but we did it. This allows us to cast 2 cards in our hand as opposed to just 1. It also allows us to get the kill on this turn should they tap out. Well, if they tap out for a flyer, it doesn't, but we'll see. We'll see what they do. That's certainly not going to help them. Now, I'm a little confused at this point because they had... Okay, I'm not confused at this point, actually. I was going to say they Traveler's Amulet, so they had Forest Island, they Traveler's Amulet for... what do we want to do here? A Traveler's Amulet for the another island, so they probably have either a dissolve or the counter target creature or whatever thing in their hand. That would mean just getting in. All right, they have, I don't know, I could think of a lot of things they have, meaning it's almost definitely wrong to go for the kill this turn. I kind of like suiting up here. Let's do this. Is it Nullify? Nullify is the other card that I was trying to think of. So I get in for 2 here. Okay. I believe I'm fine trading. I mean, it's not as though I have an option. But at this point, Nullify is no longer a thing that they could have. Okay, so that's made things awkward for me. Do I Titan Strength here? Sword of 2 for one's them. And I sort of like it. I don't want them to gain any life back, so let's do that. I'm gonna put that at the bottom of the library. I don't need that at all. That's an early game card. Don't need it late. And at this point, we can tap down their creature. Probably should have done it on upkeep, I'm guessing, but we'll see what they do. I am actually fine with this attacking me. Again, depends on what they do. Okay. fine with this. Yep. Okay, got 2 of them. Let's tap target creature. We can make this unblockable and get in. Then we're going to see what they do on their turn. Because now this allows us to have this up. Alternatively, we could have played this. I'm a little concerned about a bounce spell out of them. They were down to 1 card, though. Would have imagined they'd use it. They're getting in with everything. Now, we imagine that they had a counterspell here. If we force them to use it, I don't know, what? 9? They need to do 5 more damage. I think it's reasonable to assume that they could have the tricks to do that. So what I want to do is block here and maybe nowhere else. Maybe nowhere else. But we're doing it. No. Yeah, that's fine. I don't know, this just... It feels like it puts them out of the game. More than they were already. That's a 5/5. Kiora. Kiora doesn't feel great right now. Let's... 2 through 5. We're 1 off of casting both. Has to make this 5/5 or he's dead. I'm just gonna make this unblockable. That worked out fine. I still want to go over to the other build. Ramp. It's just, it's so much more consistent. He did have quite a few enchantment things. I don't know. Might be right. Cripsis. I feel like a lot of cards can just be pronounced with that like really over the top Japanese game show host personality. Land, there's something else I need to take out. 1, 2, 3, 4. Done. Put in 1 extra card. For mana cost. Oh yeah, it's always the toss up between this thing and the other thing. For this matchup, I am gonna say Vortex Elemental. I don't feel that any of his creatures were scary, and one of them was unblockable, so this seems fine. Anyway, back to the game show host. You could, you know, like Brimaz. Just sounds good to say. No mulligan. Brimaz! I don't know why I'm adding a U at the end. Did they add U? It's just... it's a funny thing. That, Yeah, the game show host announcer. I don't know why it's so funny to me. Alright, we're throwing this guy down and binning all of our bombs right now. Nailed it. I don't know if I like this guy. Probably should have cut him. I think that's what I cut in the first game when I sided into this deck. It seems good if Nemesis goes into her hand immediately afterward. Alright, this guy seems nutty this game. Let's not. Say we did. Traveler's Amulet. Cracking it. Revealing this. You likely have a Nullify. Am I fine with Nullify? Let's target this guy, because Nullify doesn't do crap about that. That's a big game. Big game. Hunter. Seems good to me. I don't know. How do you feel about it? Post in the comments. This guy's getting in there. God, why wouldn't you tap out for me, jerk? Alright, we're gonna go here first, I think. It's probably unnecessary, but basically my game plan right now is to get in for damage and not to necessarily, yeah, so he has the Grip Tides. Or Dissolve. Dissolve's fine too. But we have a big creature regardless. I'm expecting a wasted Nullify here. But it doesn't happen. That's interesting. Is there a point at which I want to block with this? I'm not sure. What is this? This is the big thing. Oh, I like just loading this guy up with stuff. He's huge. Man, they had not countered that thing. Oh, I suspected they had a counterspell. It's just... yeah, you guys worked out. There's this. I imagine they'll be reluctant to attack as I'm really just obviously going to chump here and they're just wasting creatures at this point. But we'll see. I mean, there's always like really strange possibilities here. Like they could Crypsis into... oh, they're not going to, looks like. Faded Infatuation. Seems okay. Like my creature's still large and in charge, so let's get in there. So I might, let's plus for a turn, because we just lose a Voyaging Satyr by doing that. 3/3 Centaur on the battlefield. So we're going to plus on this guy. And pass it. And make a Centaur. They kind of have infinite blocks here. I'm not too happy about this. So they're absolutely killing Kiora. Well, that's not necessarily true. Maybe it is. Yeah, let's -1 draw a card. At this point, we can hold back and say, you know, if you're attacking Kiora, you're losing all your guys. Well, not all of them, obviously. They have a bunch of tokens, but they do have to tap out to make tokens here. And I feel as though we have superior creatures. I think drawing a card was correct there. Nullify is pretty big. Let's continue to draw. Not playing a land represents that we do not have any land in hand. I want them to think that into the future. Because there's no reason, we have 9 land right now. There's absolutely 0 reason we need to run out anything. Retraction Helix is pretty good right now. Let's +1 Kiora, keep her alive. We're going to do it to a Centaur token, as we want these two to be dead. We're going to continue to not play lands. Or does it seem suspicious if we don't? I'm a little unsure. What is this? We'll nullify that. We have no way to block it, so that seems bad for us. That's the same thing, but it doesn't gain them life. I'm going to end a turn Retraction Helix. For this thing. It's just hard removal. And then at this point, let's +1 to the bird. Continue to pass. He just loses a lot of value by attacking. If we can get to 5, we actually just win the game. Divination. It's pretty good for them. I am going to play a land next turn. It would indicate to my opponent that maybe I was not lying. If I don't play a land for too many turns, I think they get suspicious. Oh god. Oh, they just have infinite of this card. This card's quite good. Okay, absolutely playing a card here. I'm not sure what the right play is. I think drawing a card is probably right. No. We have to keep +1ing this. I'm not going to attack either. We could have attacked and untapped with this. The issue with that is I actually don't want them to attack with everything, and that incentivizes it to happen. I feel as though our opponent just continues to do nothing if we do nothing. So I want to keep that up. Like, even though we get a bunch of value off of them not like them swinging in, it also does just way too much damage. Holy crap. Infinite of this card. Actually infinite. Oh, as it turns out, I'm an idiot. So, yeah, I kind of failed to see that I could be aggressive with this card. Might be wrong, but we're going to try it. Yeah, I probably let that go on way too long. Yeah. Well, we did it. Sorry for... I think the match I played the worst, or the game I played the worst was actually that last one. Which is weird. Sometimes that happens, though. Like, but I should probably be a little bit more conservative with the colors I'm running in the future. I'm not sure what else to hit on. I don't know. Like, I'm always interested to hear what you think about play mistakes and everything. I really don't get upset by people telling me I suck at the game. Unless that's your entire comment. You can go away, I guess, if that's your comment. Is that I suck. I guess I realize that, but I'm trying to improve. I want to provide better Magic content in the future. If you think that something is not being provided anywhere on the internet, I would like to be a person that provides that sort of content, or specific kind of commentary if you want to hear thoughts on something. I'm a fairly competitive player. Obviously, I haven't been doing well in the videos so far. That's partially me adjusting to playing. Typically, I will either win the tournament or just lose one game. So, I mean, this is alright. 2-2 is not the best for sealed. I should at least be going 3-1 here. But we'll try to improve in the future. Yeah, so comments, definitely. Like it if you done liked it. If you didn't like it, I don't know, give it a thumbs down. Who cares? Or just give me suggestions. Give me a thumbs up. I mean, how could you not like it? I was in it. If you want to see more of it, hey, there's a subscribe button. And I guess lastly, if you think other people might benefit from it, maybe share it. I'd like that. Gets me more views. Lets other people see good content. Assuming this is good. And I will see y'all in the future with more Magic stuff. Also more Minecraft stuff if you're interested in some of that. And more of other stuff. Art, probably. Alright. Bye-bye, boys and girls.